Thank you for tuning in to Calavera Jams. We're here at the Woodshed Rehearsal Studios in San Antonio, Texas. We're joined by Sundias, a South Texas band with a pretty rich and energetic sound. Thank you for joining us tonight, you guys.
Yeah. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us. Cool.
So you just played a few songs for us. Was it nice to be able to play for people?
Yeah, it's been a while. I mean, we've been kind of just jamming at the house. And
what kind of places were y'all playing before this?
Everywhere, really. Bars.
Did y'all ever get to do any house shows?
Oh gosh, we have a story about one of those. But yeah, we've played one house show and a couple like DIY spots here and there, and yeah, that's what we prefer usually.
Yeah, I mean that's mostly what I've seen y'all with. I associate y'all a lot with Avi and the studio and everything. And I mean, between last time that we got to see you and this time now, I'm really glad that we finally got to come out and just really grab by the balls.
Yeah, shouts out to La Vienda too. We have really good love playing there, love playing with Avi, love playing with all the bands that allow us to play with them.
Awesome.
Awesome. So you guys just played a few songs for us, and we got to kind of get a taste of your music. I noticed that you describe your band as a surf doom rock and roll for your soul.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's we don't like to. We if we have to put a label on us, it'd be surf doom, which is kind of just like we have the ability to go and make you kind of dance a little, but at the same time, know when it's time to bring the oomph and bring the heaviness. But our genre kind of spans everywhere from just rock to.
Oh yeah, we play a lot of different stuff. We're kind of trying. Our sound is kind of all over the place. We got funk, we got groove, we got jazz. Sometimes we'll do jazz sets and a lot of rock and roll and cool stuff thrown in between.
Some cumbia. We'll throw some cumbia in there if we want to. Some cumbia.
Yeah, I actually picked up on a lot of those vibes.
Yeah, honestly, because it was like, because you'll have the breakdowns in almost every one of your songs, and those breakdowns are just like different scopes. Like you see, that real funk, and then I just want to, I do want to cumbia with somebody, and then just that once that next riff hits, I just want to throw them in a pit and just join them and just have a good time doing it. It's really reminiscent of a lot of 90s bands that I had come across, and like I was telling you, it was really cruise music and active. It's like I want to be doing something while I'm listening to this music. I mean, I love to sit back and jam it, have it in the background and everything, but at the same time, this is the music you put on when you're like, okay, road trip, all right, trip to the end, something, just Friday night out.
That's exactly what I was thinking too when I was listening. Like, this would be like my life track background music for doing things.
I like
in
to
my
describe them by different soundtracks because the Roy, who's gracious enough to have us here at the Woodshed Studios, he brought a very visual and a very otherworldly type of soundtrack to what he was trying to do, and that's this is a different movie altogether, right. And that's the way I feel. These are two different vibes. It reminds me of those opening scenes in 90s movies. You just see the scene of the desert, and then just the old 50s convertible just roam through.
It's like the doors just going on.
Exactly. I did hear, especially on the bass, those very. Before y'all started playing the songs, it was a very I want to say, Father, yes, son, I want to. It was really cool, though.
Yeah, we're all Doors fans.
Oh, I love the Doors.
Nice.
Jim Morrison, man.
So, like, your first song that we heard today, Complete the Circuit, that was, like, it kind of felt like a medley. It did feel like you would kind of take an energy up to a certain peak, and then right as that was, like, meeting an apex, you'd, like, take a quick turn and bring the listener into a different energy altogether.
Yeah, that's a good point because on that song, the concept was, like, a circuit where the beginning is kind of and the end are kind of like a battery because they're the same riffs, and then it charges into the loop, and then the chorus is kind of like the negative charge, whereas the verse is the positive charge, and then it's we have a breakdown in there now, so that kind of like added something to it, but originally that was just all symmetrical, so that's kind of like the concept of the song.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's really fun. I mean, from the last time I heard it now to now, I immediately followed the page, and y'all do have a Bandcamp, I believe. What is that, Sundias?
Yeah, it's just sundias.bandcamp.com.
There we go. Anywhere else that we could actually find your music too?
Well, we do have some lathe cut 7-inch records that we have available just on our person right now, and there's actually a few copies left at Music Connection, Flipside, and also I think Crazy Rhythms Records might still have a couple as well.
That's dope. Y'all should check that out.
Nice. So when you guys are putting together, like when you're discussing here the symmetrical like loops in the song, what does that process look like? Is that collaborative between the three of you, or?
Yeah, well, for this particular song, I wrote it, but they both like helped arrange the actual song.
Kind of bring it to life.
Yeah, because it was kind of really weird and like arrhythmic at first, and then during the course of bringing it together as a band, we definitely like worked out some of the kinks on that. So
it's like you had the AC and they were the DC converter to really
Yeah,
complete the circuit.
you could say that for sure.
Highway to hell.
So each one of y'all, like specifically, because you said you had the song go in a completely different direction than what y'all have today. So do each of y'all bring a different style into the songwriting? Like I can definitely see, especially with, when I play with the Sofa Kings, we do have a very different style, and it kind of melds together the funk, the jazz, the cadences on the drums, and especially coming through that one today, that one was boss.
Yeah, we it's just like a big old pot, like we're kind of doing our own thing. We're like, I love whenever like someone writes a song, like if Kyle writes a song or if Val writes a song, they don't tell me I wanted to sound just like tuk-tak, something. They just like, for the most part, we're always just like, okay, you know what you're doing. We'll play this song and let's just all kind of like throw our own vision, basically our own ladle in the crock pot, and just see like what we come up with. And so like that's kind of how she did it too. Like she wrote the song and told us like, whatever y'all feel would be a good, representation, or whatever y'all feel would sound good with it.
It's like she has the idea for a comic book, and you're coming in to ink it, exactly. And you're coming in to, do outline work.
We're all dipping our ladles, dipping our ladles in this little soup pot.
It really comes out in the music, honestly.
Yeah.
It's like very different, because like she was talking about, what kind of band would you see yourself as? And I don't see y'all as a Texas band. I can feel the inspiration from where you live, but at the same time, it makes me want to drive away from San Antonio. It makes me want to drive away from Texas. Is where the sound takes me. Real fear and loathing style thought comes. Just drive. Just
take a trip.
Exactly.
Just take a little trip.
Speaking of a trip, your guys' band camp, I think it says that you are returning from a 1,000-year trip.
Let Kyle talk about that.
Can you tell me about that trip? What happened?
The idea for that song was more like music and like musical instruments just being used as vehicles to go in a different, more deeper into the subconscious and different dimensions. And whether it be the past or the future, left, right, up, down, like it's just used as a means of going somewhere else.
It's good.
Nice.
Just like you were saying.
Like, using the music as
Yeah.
a vehicle to, drive into somewhere inward, in
Yeah.
a really insular way of, approaching the song, hey, I want to take you here. And that's where the, listener, they paint their own picture, but they're going somewhere in that picture.
Yeah, totally. It's just a jump off point.
At Geronimo.
So I feel like your second song that you guys played, Nunu, is that it?
Nunu.
Nunu? I feel like it had a very 70s vibe. I could see it like a sleuth kind of adventure happening, but then also very surfer. I could see the surf vibe coming through. What is your thought process on that song and what you're conveying?
It's funny because he could tell you a little bit more about it, but that's the second or third reworking of the same song. Like, so we have maybe 3 different versions of it, but I don't know if you want to kind of elaborate on that.
It's like just reimagining like a dish. You want to just throw different sides or just picture it differently so it won't feel like you're eating the same thing over and over.
Mm.
But it's just using the same ingredients and making different songs.
Funny thing is, that's why it's called Nunu, is because it was a newer arrangement of like the first song. We had like 3 different variations.
Oh, so
of
it's
the song.
that
Nice.
Nunu.
New.
Oh,
It's
okay.
new.
Yeah, that was probably from our second wave of songs, whereas the original version of that song was one of the first songs we ever had.
As an artist, your artwork's never complete.
Oh, yeah.
You're constantly growing it, and I'm glad where it came out now, and I'm actually interested to see where it'll develop in the future
Yeah.
with the new version 2.0.
Yeah, new.
What inspires you guys to make something new or new? What inspires you guys in life, or what do you observe that inspires you?
For me, a lot of the times it's other music or other musicians, or even like nature, or just like things that are going on around you in the world, or just like altered states of minds. All of those things like amalgamated. I feel like I used to come always towards writing from a place of anger, and so now with this band, it's just like a lot of different things that are coming into play to try to like write differently and see things differently and approach music from that way rather than just like punk anger.
Doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results when you got to change the equation to actually get the results that you want.
I think my inspiration is just this life itself going around and just seeing just everything happening. So just with family, friends, people around me and stuff, it inspires me to want to keep doing what I love doing, and that's jamming with really good friends and being able to, I guess, publish my own version of what I want people to see me as, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, just mostly just regular old life, man, and trying to just spice it up a little bit, because you do your 9 to 5, you do your family stuff, so every now and again you want to just get spicy
Rock
with it.
out.
Just like
Rock
that's why I
out.
feel like that first song, it just starts playing right when you punch out.
Right when you're done, right when that 5.
And you're walking to the car, and then it gets that fast part, and you go straight to the bar.
You want to drive as
Oh,
fast as
man.
you can to the next alcohol source.
How about you, Goodman?
The same, it's just what I've encountered up to this point. It's just like all that feeling, all that experience. It's just letting it come out, basically.
And it comes out. I mean, I really, the thing that I've seen consistently out of every time that I've seen y'all play is y'all thoroughly enjoy it. Like, I haven't seen y'all bitch or moan or anything like that. Y'all are genuinely like an energy that is, not just present through your music, but through your presence too. I mean, like, I literally don't see scowls from y'all the entire. I see just like, or hey, here we go, and just y'all find the vibe, and it's really cool.
That's the beauty of it, man. Like, and I love seeing bands that portray happiness and portray like a good time.
Yeah.
Like, when a band is like gloomy and death metal, you're gonna be like, okay, cool. I'm either gonna cry or I'm gonna be upset.
Yeah.
But you see a band that's just like happy go energy. You want to dance around and be
Yeah,
fun.
exactly,
So
exactly like what she was saying.
I'm really. I like that you thought that we're good happy
Yeah.
band, because that's what we're trying to pursue.
Yeah, definitely. Like, you can tell when someone enjoys what they do, and like it comes out and makes it that much better and enjoyable for anyone who's experiencing that music too. And like, so we just really like to hone our craft and just enjoy ourselves when we're playing more than anything, and just try to like get there musically.
And it comes through, definitely.
The third song you guys played, speaking of like dancing, it actually, March of the Gnomes was the name of that one, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
or just gnomes.
Gnomes.
whichever, like.
Well, in my mind, having known that the gnomes were the name of the song, it sounded like a waltz at the beginning, so gnomes were waltzing around in my head.
Yeah.
But then you really change the energy, and you kind of take it on a bit of a coaster. And so, like, how would you guys describe that? Firstly, why is it named that? And secondly, what is your feeling about that? Did you mean for it to start out sort of like a waltz?
Yeah, the waltz part for sure. Just because.
Sorry. Put mic up your mic.
Oh, yeah, my bad. I'm hoping it picks up. Again. Yeah, no, it's just. The idea of gnomes is just kind of like a thing. Like, I like the lawn ornaments and just a mythical creature kind of deal, but the waltz was just this idea by our buddy Mondo of like a lot of gnomes, and that kind of just painted the picture for the song, I think.
Yeah, it had me thinking of that one part in Fantasia where the mushrooms start dancing,
Yeah.
and it's just the mushroom head just like din 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 din
Absolutely.
din, and then it really went into a Kubrick-esque, just sort of the gnomes are like taking that trip, like you said, inward into your mind. You're trying to take that drive
It
somewhere.
went to the
inward.
dinosaur part of Fantasia.
That real
Right.
primordial
That's
part.
the second part, right? That's the the coasting through.
Exactly. You're just driving through. You're not staying here.
Scarred for life.
In and out, A to B.
Backcountry every day.
Who do you guys think is listening to your music and identifying with your music, and why?
I'd say right now, a lot of people that we know that listen to us are kind of like in our same age group for the most part, that are people that probably play music as well, or at least just really enjoy it. Like, that's who we hope to reach, is just someone that really loves listening to music and like loves that energy and just kind of can have a range of tastes, like from heavy to like groovier, and like, so yeah, I feel like at shows and stuff, the people that talk to us about it like love that kind of music. Like, they love surf, they love rock and roll, other types of music, or jazz. Like, we like to talk to people about music too. So.
Yeah. I mean, we wouldn't be musicians if we didn't like, somebody, not just the people to enjoy it who aren't professional musicians or play at all, but just like the ones who are musicians, just like, yeah, okay. I like what these guys are doing. I like the way they melded it. And that's why I was looking at too. Like, when y'all were doing it, I'm here just, on my knees, and I'm just like, that last song especially, and I'm just splitting between it, and then I saw y'all come together, and I like the change ups. I'm very much a change up person. One of my favorite bands is Horse the Band, and they like to really put those new tempos in, those switch ups from a 7/8 to a 3/4, and it's a really good experience through all that.
It adds a lot of depth. There's a lot of richness to what you guys were playing when you change the tempo and you change the entire direction and feeling of the song, but still manage to make it sound like it is the same song. That's talent.
And I really do like the singing on the first one, honestly. Like, I like when she's warming up, I'm like, okay, I know which parts is going to come up. And it just, because most of the other songs, the two other songs are instrumental that we heard, and those without vocals are powerful on their own, but adding even that little bit of vocals that you have in that is just, really a good precursor to what we're going to listen to the rest of the time.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's just kind of like an interesting thing with that song too, like the positive and the negative. And like, whenever we have some other songs that feature vocals and stuff, and we like to incorporate harmonies and just like a lot of, I feel like the voice is an instrument, and like it can shine in that way too, for sure. So we're excited to bring some more vocal harmonies to heavier music and to like some really, really dreamy stuff that we have going on. So.
Right when you said dreamy, I was thinking Siamese Dream. I was just like, I've been listening to a lot of Smashing Pumpkins lately, and it just
album.
Yeah, very good album. I mean, honestly, their best album. Siamese Dream was just like their breakout, and it really, every single song, it had their very melodic parts, and then they just drive, mayonnaise going into that, and I'm like, I saw a lot of the other stuff that y'all played, and I really like that too, and I'm hoping that in the future that we'll be able to get that also on the channel again, maybe have you again sometime. But at the same time, what we have here today was, I'm sure everybody who's going to see is going to enjoy it.
Hell yeah. That's what he's going for.
The third song, and one thing I actually kind of noticed, Roy and I were discussing too, you guys, as you were playing, you don't have the drums overwhelming the rest of the set, which is common in punk. I think if I were to offer a criticism of a lot of punk, is that the drums will overwhelm everything else that's happening. And I think you guys really,
you're talking
it's
about
percussive.
Yeah,
it's very percussive, but it still allows for that dreaminess. It allows for, like in the third song, the Gnomes, I really thought like that, after you're done with the waltzing, then the guitar comes in and like turns it into a ballad and starts telling a story.
Yeah.
With the guitar. It's like the guitar
Where
was
are
the
the gnomes
vocals.
marching?
Did you write that piece for that song?
What do you
guitar
mean by that? Oh yeah,
portion?
everything. I mean, it was mainly just a bass idea, like the waltz, and then everything else just kind of came in. Like, it's just, I don't know. You just hear it and then it's there, and then
It just feels good, when you're there.
Yeah, when you're there. That's why it's never the same, because it's just like, maybe there is not happening today, so let me go over there. Like,
Yeah.
The
It kind
gnomes
of.
can have different stories, different days.
It's just depending on how we feel.
Each one of the
Yeah,
gnomes,
yeah.
you're just different backstory for every
But
single one of them.
That first thing you're talking about, though, that's been something we've been working on for a good while, because it's so easy to get caught up having a punk rock background. Like, you just get in the music and just slam it out, and like, it becomes overbearing at times. We've been told to turn it down or playing too hard.
Yeah.
And it's the truth because it hurts people's ears, but
I thought it was absolutely
Even
perfect.
even being in the
Perfect
room, like, and I
balance.
know you had to turn it up to like hear each other, and but also at the same time, like, I had no problem, man. I heard everything
Yeah.
clearly, and
that's awesome.
We've been able to find that balance, thankfully, because none of us want to lose our hearing. But also, we can. Ricardo's a great drummer with a lot of range, and like, even at his loudest, we're with our gear now, we're able to at least compete with that, and then we can all kind of mesh it together and have that sound that we're always kind of working on it, depending on where we're at as a band and where we are physically playing at. But like, I feel like we've found that balance, thankfully.
and where he's not overwhelming, he's
Yeah.
also incorporating some really individual, some roles, some fills that really, don't take up precedent, but really add to the flavor of the sound. Like, it really, like, it's like that going from one side of the meat to flipping it to the other side, and just that sizzle, just boom.
See, and that's what I always thought with gnomes too. Like I didn't want to like bore anybody, because like if you listen to it for the longest time and shit, I can easily do like the simple waltz beat. That's
Yeah.
that. Just keep doing that. That's what I love about all of us. Like we spice it up, and then it kind of goes to the point where it's like, yeah, you won't always get the same exact gnomes per se. Like sometimes you'll hear like a different version of it, or sometimes the solo will stretch out longer. But it's just essentially it's just we want to like just ourselves have fun with it, but then
Yeah.
also make sure that whoever's listening or whoever's actually watching us is having fun, and they're not just hearing the same repetitive beat for this. For
They're
that's our longest song.
They're
too.
enjoying the thousand.
Yeah.
The
The
what was
1,000
it?
marches of
Yeah,
Thousand
yeah.
years.
You got
Our longest
1,000
song
trip.
yet.
Trip.
Yeah, it's not just
Of the gnome.
drudging. It's not
And the
just a
march.
dirge, a death march. It's
Like,
really.
you're gonna
just
be with us for 1,000 years, but we're gonna make it worthwhile.
You're gonna learn about
Yeah,
me.
you're gonna love
It won't
It's
get
gonna be
mundane,
awesome.
we promise.
Yeah, you're gonna love it. These gnomes
That's really
will
cool.
find their spot eventually.
I did not know you guys had been working on that had been a challenge. I guess you guys met that challenge because the practice shows.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, we all kind of came together like maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and as a unit, and they had played with each other before, so it was kind of like a challenge for me to get on that level of being able to improvise and being able to adapt and stuff. And we all bring our strengths to the table, I think, when it comes to performing and writing. So it's really cool to be that unit now.
Yeah, that cohesive. You can rely on each other. Where you fall short, they'll pick you back up.
And the improv is admirable because that means you can't just take your learned skill with you. You have to take your soul with you on the set every time.
I mean, playing live, that's what you do. You really, you got to sell yourself once you get up in front of those lights, and but I miss it. I miss it, honestly. I mean, that's one of the things that we're trying to convey here, with Calavera Jams, and really trying to. I miss these bands. I mean, even if I would go into, say, the Limelight for like 10 minutes and just see the band play one song, I'm like, okay, I just did miss that little bit, and the fans miss y'all too. I mean, the fans miss the music, and so hopefully soon, which when I've been vaccinated, more vaccinations are rolling out and everything, and we're trying to do this the best way that we can.
Absolutely.
Safe and sound. Everyone's gotta play, but at the same time be safe.
Yeah, exactly.
Be smart about it.
And we need the arts.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Always.
Oh yeah.
Everyone needs music in their life, I feel like.
Yeah, every medium. That's why we want to do the video medium too, because I mean, it's like you fill your senses. If you're not getting what you're used to getting, just like try to recreate the experience and also support the artist at the same time. Because I mean, artists took a big blow from everything that happened, and it's sad to see. But like I said, hopefully rolling out with the next couple of years or so, I still imagine it'll still be a little different, but at the same time, we get back to did you see that idea of having separate like little stage areas in London? They did it for a concert, and just literally your own ramp to this own little section of like 12 seats, and they're like spaced out 6 feet. Like, I would love that concept for like future to incorporate that, because it's very like personalized. You have your own little experience in this little bubble that you have, and you're with the people that you enjoy it with, and you're getting to see the band that you want to see with. Sometimes I want to rub elbows like at the house shows and stuff like that, but the way it is right now, we'll take what we can get, and we'll go from there.
And also, I love that. That time that we actually did the rooftop jam with
man,
the.
that
Man, I
was-
wish they did that more often.
Yeah,
man.
that
Just,
was-
like drive through freaking shows.
Yeah,
dude.
well, I know
Stuff
some
is
people in the
awesome.
works, and they're trying to get that land. So we'll see how that goes, and for future projects. I love the outside shows. Honestly, it's where it's at, open air, and
Safe.
Exactly.
Yeah, this has
Keep your
forced
distance.
people to get a little bit more innovative with how they perform, and even our recent single release, we did an outdoor show, and it was all acoustic, and the other bands all incorporated some really cool acoustic instruments into their sets, and it was just really cool because the people that did feel safe going and felt comfortable going, like, because it was outside, it was spaced out, and everyone kind of had their own cool experience with it. And
Where was that at?
this place called Arbol de la Vida, which is kind of right near Mission Espada, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Mission Espada.
That's pretty cool.
It was beautiful, man. It's really cool because like the architectural like design of it itself, like was able to bounce sound out. So like no matter where
Yeah.
you stood, no matter
That
where you
natural
were at,
acoustics.
you had that acoustic sound.
That's
so yeah,
really
you can keep
awesome.
your distance and keep away and stuff. Even people that were just like walking by, they would stop and just be like, "Oh, this
Like
is
that Arneson Theater sound downtown
Yeah,
on the
exactly.
Riverwalk.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
it's
get
just
that.
perfect dome, man.
Yeah.
It sounds beautiful."
That's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah,
I
yo,
could
shout
see
out to
that'd be
Arbol de Vida.
perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect for your guys' set too, I'm sure, in that setting.
Yeah, it was really nice. Outdoors. It was really nice. Outdoors, acoustic,
Bongos, clarinet,
bongos,
drum
homies,
circle,
everybody just chilling, everybody having a good
a
time.
washboard.
It was really beautiful.
That's awesome.
That's very cool.
Well, tell me, what do you guys have coming up? What are you working on? Again, tell people where they can find your merch, how they can connect with you.
Yeah, definitely. So right now we just finished recording our second single. We're working on mixing it right now, and we'll be releasing limited mini CDs along with some stickers.
Like GameCube ones?
Yeah,
That's
that
awesome.
size. Yeah, so we're still kind of testing out a few things on that, and we'll probably be releasing those, and as well as a music video this summer. And our next step after that is an EP. So a lot of things are in the plans. We're just kind of making it work. But right now, we definitely do still have some records and some comic books and stickers all available. Anyone interested can definitely hit us up on Instagram, Sundias Band, or Facebook, or our Bandcamp. We have our music available to listen. So there's plenty of options online for right now.
Before you go further, you said a comic book?
Yeah, actually, so we were originally planning on doing some music videos for our first single, which didn't really pan out. So we took some of the footage and concepts from that, and I drew out the comic. And at the very last page, some of my designs, as well as some of our friend Mondo's, who they had mentioned, his designs are stickers in the back. So it's like a comic with a sticker
pretty
book.
cool.
That's
That's
cool.
really like, I haven't heard of that. I mean, we've done the beer koozies, we've done, the shirts and everything, but I've never.
And it's all DIY too. Like she
I was
draws
gonna
them,
say,
and we
awesome.
make the
Because women are
storyboard.
innovative.
Yeah.
Exactly. She's
Yeah.
hear her roar.
Yeah, and what was I gonna say? Coheed and Cambria did a lot of the same thing. They based like their first 4 albums or something like that off of
Like their whole thing is just like a story.
whole
like
thing.
one big story.
The whole thing.
That takes really.
If I have to do 5
Really good
albums of
thing.
gnomes, I'm there. I will.
I
I'm
agree.
definitely
I was like, you can
comic
tell
book
us
just
stories
full-
about the gnomes.
Yeah, I would
That's a
definitely.
good
I'd
idea
be
for
down
our
with
next
that.
one.
our whole album.
Maybe
just a
Mondo can make
story.
one.
Yeah, there was a
Insane.
guy, a country singer, by the way. God, why can't I think of his name? Sturgill Simpson.
Oh, I
Sturgill
just started getting
Simpson
into it.
Yeah, so really outlaw, really like off the cuff, real like he likes to take mushrooms. He really likes to really be a thought-provoking artist, and he did actually a Netflix 15-minute movie. Was all like a very outlaw country soundtrack, but it was based on samurais. So it's just this like it's like a country background, sort of the Italian filmmaker who did the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. It was that soundtrack to like just straight up anime style Spawn animation.
He just went full Wu-Tang on
Yeah,
it.
exactly. That was the
That's
feel
awesome.
of it.
So you guys could do, gnome videos, I guess, is what
Oh
he's
yeah,
saying.
we'll definitely get a gnome.
Oh,
We-
yeah.
I want to make a
Find a gnome.
movement. We're gonna make like a gnome
It's kind
cult.
of becoming our mascot at this point.
That should be the
No
hunt and then the
mascots.
reveal.
Yeah.
That's the video.
Yo, we promised it. Here it is. The gnome.
Open it, just burrowed a hole through the back. Here's the next video.
He's
Get to
gone.
know again.
Yo, we gotta go catch that gnome again.
Oh yeah. It's also the 45 or the single is in Flipside, Music Connection, and Crazy Rhythms. But
Support
Okay,
local.
that's
If you-
where they can be, the actual hard
Yeah,
copies
you
be
can
purchased.
yeah, that's
purchase
when they
them
can be
there.
purchased.
Awesome.
I'll definitely check that out.
For real. Well, I certainly was thrilled to hear you guys play live music.
Thank you.
This is how I get to hear live music these days. And we've missed it.
It's been an experience, but I mean, at the same time, I'm glad where we ended up at this point, where everything came together, and we were really, both of y'all were rooting for us, and we were rooting for you, and it really came together to where exactly the way it needed to be. And hopefully in the future, I mean, this is not the last time we're going to work with y'all, either as a musician or as media producers.
Yeah, we're definitely thankful for the opportunity, and it's been really cool working with you guys, and I'm really excited to see like how the production comes together.
Absolutely.
We are too. I'm looking forward to the stream too, and we'll definitely be speaking with you guys again prior to. I really want to thank you, Ricardo.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Ricardo.
Make sure
As my mother's
your
name.
name
Ricardo's my mother's name.
Ricardo, Valerie, Goodman, I really want to thank you for joining us today and for playing your hearts out. It was a pleasure getting to hear your music and discuss it with you.
Thank you very
Thanks
much.
for having
Thanks,
us.
Calavera.
It's fun. Always fun to be around homies and helping homies. Homies helping homies.
Homies helping homies.
Peace out, homies.